quite as much because I mean, so it's probably the same amount of Stardust spent, but
I mean, in Open Ultra League, there's some somewhat accessible like legendaries and stuff that aren't like crazy expensive, you know. But Premier is just all XLs.
Yeah, and a lot of those legendaries
XLs
you catch
and starters, basically.
So you think this is going to be Starter Cup?
Oh, XLs plus starter.
Yeah, XL and Starter Cup.
Starters just have such good moves, right? So they can get away with like slightly worse stats because of like Hydro Cannon, Frenzy Plant, those types of things.
Yeah. I was talking with Sete yesterday. He was pointing out, and I agree with him, how underrated Blastoise is, just in general.
In Ultra League?
Yeah.
Or in Great League? Because I know a lot of people that really like it in Great League too.
Yeah, I think it works just fine in Great League too. It's just like it's bulkier than you think, and it's got that consistent moveset of the Water Gun, Hydro Cannon.
Yeah, like a lot of people I know, like even like leaderboard climbers and stuff, really like using Blastoise even in Great League. So, Rhonda, what's up? How are you doing?
You too, Rhonda.
Well, we're back, so don't worry.
And we went live at exactly, well, midday for me, but exactly 8:30. Like,
I realized that. Hey, what's up, E1? I realized that on my way home that you were gonna get confused with the time change. The time just changed on Sunday.
Yeah.
We like went back an hour, so.
Yep, you called it.
That's okay.
Yeah, but hasn't thrown me off too much. Like Wednesday day for me, I'm not working until the evening, so.
With trivia night?
Yep. Running one of those.
Oof. Yeah, what's the capital of Alaska?
Capital of Alaska. Is it how do you pronounce it? Juneau or something?
I think it's Juneau, yeah. It's either that or Anchorage. Those are the only two. Alaska's America. I don't freaking know. I'm just quizzing you because you're trivia.
I mean, we have more interesting questions than that.
No, that's a good one. That's a really good one. Especially for Australians, right? That's like the other side of the world. They don't think about that shit.
No, yeah, I can guarantee we've never thought about what the capital of Alaska is.
Exactly.
For my own personal quiz nights that I've hosted before, I've written like I try to make some of the questions fun. And let me bring up this one that I wrote that I'm pretty proud of.
I will get the answer to it, I know.
What's that?
I can answer it.
It's multiple choice, so you probably could. Let's see.
Multiple choices. You're cheating.
Old quizzes. We go. CBC quiz. Alright. The question is coming. It's fuck, where is it?
Wow, you're really good at this.
This was not content I expected to bring up. So
no shit.
Okay. The question, Lyle, is which of these is not a real dating site?
Oh. Okay.
Is it A, ghostsingles.com, the site for deceased individuals looking for their soulmate? B, mullet passions. B, mullet passions, the site for singles who appreciate the most classic of all hairstyles. Refrigerating, where users find matches based on pictures of the inside of their fridge. Or D, Singles of Westeros, a hookup site for cosplayers from the hit show Game of Thrones.
I think it's the fridge one.
Is fake?
Yeah.
That is incorrect. The Singles of Westeros is actually not a real thing.
That was the most believable one.
I know, right?
Okay, Okay, so there's some weird people out there.
There is mulletpassions.com out there.
I mean, that makes sense. People like mullets. The dead one's a little funky. What about the fridge? They like looking at fridges? I don't get that one.
I mean, I think they make judgments on the person based on what's in their fridge.
I mean, you could, yeah. You could really judge a book by the fridge, as they say.
The classic saying. Which of these classic video games was released first? A. Pac-Man, B. Space Invaders, C. Tetris, or D. The Oregon Trail?
Pac-Man, Space Invaders, Oregon Trail, or Tetris? I think it was Pac-Man.
Can you give me a year?
Oh my god. I don't know. Like 82. I don't know.
Close. Pac-Man was 1980. Space Invaders was earlier than that, on really? 1978, and then Oregon Trail was even older than that in 1971.
The fuck? I used to play Oregon Trail when I was a kid.
It's so cool.
It's
such a good game.
That cool.
It's like nice, innocent fun.
Yeah, sure. Everyone's dying of Oregon Trail in space. Yes, I agree, Shadow Prime. Now we're talking.
Oregon Trail in space, is that an actual thing?
I don't know, it could be.
It should be. Alright, I've got one more for you. Before we get into the actually what we're here for. Guess the names of these Wordle spin-off games based on their description. So these aren't multiple choice. There's just there's 3 of them. So your clue is they all vaguely rhyme with Wordle. Very, very vaguely. So players have 6 turns to guess the title of a song, hearing an extra second of the song each time.
Okay.
What's the name of that Wordle spin-off?
What's the name of that?
Yeah.
Myrtle.
No. If you know it in chat, you can tell. You can give it to us.
Beat Shazam. Is that something where they got beat Shazam?
What do you mean beat Shazam?
They got to beat Shazam or something. I don't know. That's a game show.
Oh yeah,
they
gotta
guess the music, right? I don't know. I want Tim Hortons coffee. Yes, me too. Well, it's too late for that, but thank you, Smiley, for coming in and saying that. Maybe Fish can have some coffee.
Yeah, we don't have Tim Hortons here.
Well, you're missing out.
We have Gloria Jeans is our ubiquitous coffee chain.
I heard Australians hate Starbucks too.
Hate Starbucks? I don't know about hate Starbucks. We don't. I mean, I don't think we have any in Adelaide.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not popular there. Like, they don't like it.
I don't think it's because we don't like it.
I think it didn't do well because you don't like it.
Really? Okay.
That's what I heard.
I'm not a coffee drinker at all, so I have not heard coffee. This. All right. So the answer was Hurdle. Hurdle for the music one. So the second one is players have 6 turns to guess the day's country. After each guess, the game will tell you how far away you are in kilometers and what direction it is from your guess.
GeoGuessr.
No, it vaguely rhymes with Wordle.
Girdle.
No.
Curdle.
You're just making sounds with your face.
I don't know, bro. Like, what the fuck is this game, dude? This is a dumb game.
It's Wordle. Wordle is the answer.
GeoGuessr is the name. Is what that game's called. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Sure, I'll let them know.
Play that
I'll email them.
Like, people play that game all the time. Okay.
This last one will bring it back to Pokemon. Players have 8 turns to guess the name of a Pokemon by its generation, typing, weight, and height. And it vaguely rhymes with Wordle.
Pokemyrtle.
You're so bad at this.
That's it. Bro, I don't know, dude, what you're asking me, dude. Like,
dude, you know what Wordle is, right?
Yeah, you, like, guess the letters, and then you guess the word, right? Or something?
Sure, so it's just based around that same concept. So you're just guessing a Pokemon.
Hurdle. There you go. Take the what they're guessing and put the letter there. That's it.
Well, that's the idea. Yeah, that's like these questions are designed for you to be able to, like, even if you don't know the answer, which you wouldn't off the top of your head, like, you can figure it out a little bit.
I try my best.
So that one's Squirtle.
Oh, Squirtle. Okay,
Squirtle.
that's a Pokemon.
Yeah.
That is a Pokemon.
Yeah, it is a Pokemon. Not going to be super viable in Ultra Premier Cup though. Blastoise, probably, but
yeah,
Squirtle
probably not.
Yeah, Squirtle at 500 CP. I don't know.
I don't think Blastoise is gonna be that good, but yeah, like top ranked Pokemon, Trevenant, and then you have you have other things that are Dragonite.
Thank you for joining us tonight.
Yeah,
we have Trevenant and other things.
I think it's like gonna be like what I remember about this cup is like G-Fisk.
Okay, cool.
It's been a while since we've done this. I don't think Trev was in the game the last time we had a Premier Cup in Ultra League.
Well, we had a Premier Classic.
Yeah, but we haven't had like an Ultra League, like an XL Premier in like a long time, because for a couple seasons there, they were doing the Ultra League remix over the Ultra League Premier, right? Mm-hmm. So it was like open Ultra League, but like with some bands.
Yeah.
So now it's even like more. Dominant. I swear to God, it's been like 8 months or more since we've had this meta.
So how big do you think Trevenant will be?
Seems pretty good, based on the initial.
Mm-hmm. Like that's even not against Obscure. That's not the worst in the world. Like,
I mean,
and Scrafty as well. I mean, you don't want to lock it in.
I mean, yeah, like, Scrafty is always better for. Yo, what's up, Mr. Mumbles? Scrafty is always better for Obstagoon or for Trev than Obstagoon because of the normal typing, and also Foul Play is higher energy than Night Slash, right? So
yeah,
there's a couple benefits there.
So Seed Bomb, does 44 damage. So like if you build up, like if you're in a situation where like you can close out a battle, like shields are down, you've saved up a couple of Seed Bombs on Trevenant, you throw it back to back against a half health, half health Obscure, like you can close that out.
Yeah, that sounds. I don't know, like I don't know. Obstagoon looks. I mean, Trev looks pretty good. I mean, XL. Obviously, you can run XL. You could run your Premier Classic one. I think they're both good.
They would both be ranked, actually. I imagine.
I don't think they are.
Okay,
I think he stopped doing that.
Okay, sure. Yeah, I know he used to do that in Great League with like Bastiodon and Azumarill and whatnot.
I think they stopped doing that because it's just like if it can be XL, like they just default towards the better stat product version.
Yeah.
You could probably get away with the other one and be like pretty similar, like maybe miss a couple matchups, but
all right, well,
probably be some pros and cons to it. But
let's check that out then. We got we'll go Matrix Battle. Trevenant and Trevenant. Against the Ultra League Premier Cup meta. Oh, yeah, I mean, there's nothing in the differences except for...
Well, it's the score is the main thing. Like, you can go scroll to the end. You can see, like, so it's slightly better for the... It wins them a bit better, right?
So the
most of them, not all of them.
Yeah. The higher bulk one has a slightly higher average rating. The Premier one beats the
Well, you win CMP,
Ultra League
right?
1, you win CMP. That makes sense. So
yeah. So overall, like I said, it's probably you probably won't really notice. Like my Ultra League Trevenant is like a 14, 14, 15. It's like pretty bad. Mm-hmm. It's just like it was a lucky one that I built because it was cheap at the time. So I mean, it looks pretty good. I would definitely consider using it.
Perfectly fine.
But I don't know why. Like sometimes I don't like using Trev, but
just because everyone else is using it, or?
I mean, no, I like Trev. That's a lie, but we'll see. We'll see what I come up with.
Is it still a busted core with Walrein?
Probably be okay. Dragalge is usually used to be really good in this meta. Yeah, Ursaluna's moveset, it's a little underwhelming. It's just unfortunate because I thought it would be a decent like it would have like a niche play as like a Giratina Dialga like core breaker. But it doesn't look like it's going to do that anymore since it's going to have a normal type fast move.
It could still be, well, like we don't know the high horsepower stats yet, so maybe
I know, but
find
like
some other niche.
I mean, like I wanted it to be like a nice anti-steal, and like with tackle as a fast move, it's like it kind of like will suffer a little bit. Yeah, it kind of. Oh, as in a high stat product versus high attack one. I don't think. Like, I think I would probably go for like XL Dragalge there, if you can get it. But it's pretty good in this meta for sure. It's bulky. There is, I think, Steelix might be more common this time around though, which might give it a little bit of trouble.
Okay, and that was ranked number 2, wasn't it?
Yeah, it wasn't as popular previously, but now it has the fangs or whatever you call it.
Yeah, so Dragalge.
You don't need a hundo, but you can do like level.
Sounds like you do.
No, why don't you put it like level 43?
Oh
yeah,
or something? Yeah. Okay, yeah, sure.
Something like that, yeah. Like it's like a, you know, you got a hundo, you XL it a little bit, right? Like it's definitely more XL than Trev. Yeah, the Dragalge you need like a full XL. Definitely looks like it makes a decent mark in the average.
Well, the better average is the highest stat product one.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I would lean towards that. And that's not even a rank 1 that you're simming there. It looks like.
Yeah, it's a default.
So like if you got it, you probably build it. But I think Dragalge is like it was best in Ultra League in this meta previous, but I'm not sure I would build one just to use it in Premier. If you're going for a dragon, I would probably lean towards Dragonite. Because of the buff to
superpower.
Superpower looks pretty good.
Where is Dragonite?
Oh, it's very high. Yeah,
like Shadow Dragonite, Dragon Breath. Like, how would that go against like? So there you go. It beats Trev.
Yeah. The Great League 1 is rank 1 for Ultra. Yeah, so I know. I mean, like, if you really want to, you can. Like, I would say it's definitely good. It was good in the Halloween Cup. It's definitely good in factions. It's good in the Celestial Cup right now. So it's definitely got play. I'm not sure if it's like amazing in Open Ultra League is the only thing, but it's definitely good in some of the more limited Ultra League metas.
Thank you for the follow, A Lost Burnett. Welcome into the conversation. Look at this. Steelix beats the Trevenant Walrein core in the ones. That is the ones, right? That it takes this stat from.
I mean, the thing is, Steelix is so friggin' bulky. Like, it can just eat an earthquake like it's nobody's business.
Yeah.
And you just start getting those crunches or those. You get like a defense drop or like a psychic fangs, and then boom. Steelix looks like a beast.
Without earthquake, it's losing real hard to G-Fisk, and I imagine it's still not great with earthquake.
No, it's very slow, and G-Fisk could eat an earthquake like no problem.
Oh, it does win.
Oh, that's a Psychic Fangs bait.
Yeah. So if you can,
and you would never shield the Psychic
Fangs? Shield the
Fangs?
first one, would you? Yeah.
Because look how much does an earthquake even do to G-Fisk?
Earthquake does 57%, so you can tank it as the G-Fisk easily.
You don't need to shield it, right? So,
yeah.
Unless you're like half health or something, but then at that point it's not really a one-on-one matchup.
Yeah.
The Nidoqueen bulky that the ground moves don't do anything to it.
Well, was he saying that Nidoqueen is the one that is dependent on baits?
I don't know. Did the stream die? Refreshed. Right. Okay, yeah, just refresh it.
Let me grab my cable, just so that doesn't happen again.
Fish is how we say in the world, scuffed.
I knew that was the word you were going to go with. Knew it!
Yeah, I think Steelix looks really good. If I had to, if you wanted to build something with like a dragon type, fast move, I would definitely build Steelix over Dragalge, because number one, Steel is better typing, and also Steelix is really good in Open Ultra League too. So I think it's like a good investment for Ultra League if you do have the XL candies. How many XL candies do I have? I only have 157 Onyx XLs, unfortunately. It beats Venusaur, beats Gallade apparently, loses to the fire types, loses to the water types and the ground types. But in Open, you beat Giratina really well. You kind of get destroyed by Registeel, but a lot of things do. Come on, thing. Okay, can my camera please focus? There we go. Fish is plugging in his computer or something. He's got like a 50-foot cable.
Yeah, Lyle should be back in a sec.
How many feet is your cable?
It's 10 meters, so it's like 11 yards.
I asked for feet, not yards.
Alright, well, what's 11 yards in feet?
Bro, don't ask me those questions. You're the trivia guy, okay?
How many feet to a yard? Is it like 3 feet to a yard?
I don't know. We need some Americans in chat to help us out.
There we go.
What's a meter exactly?
It's the correct form of measurement.
Canadians are really weird because we follow a metric, but sometimes we measure shit in the American system just because we're so close to the US. So a lot of our my weight and height and stuff, I'll track that in feet and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we still use feet for height for some reason. I guess because it's you don't get any more than 2 meters on a human being, right? So,
well, unless you're like a friggin' massive basketball player.
I mean, some people can pass 2 meters, but it makes more sense to use feet on height, just so you can split it into 4, 5, 6, rather than 1 or 2.
Oh, usually they do centimeters, right?
Yeah. So 100, so you can go. Yeah, but then that's too granular.
Yeah, I was just saying basically that I would definitely build Steelix over Dragalge if you had to make the choice. But I don't have enough XLs for Steelix. I was just checking.
Yeah, actually, I don't think I do either, but I would totally go with that.
Well, I'm not surprised that you don't.
Valid.
I have enough XLs to build Drugalgi. The problem is I built a Great League Onyx, right? So that's about 300 XLs down the drain already. I am at 158, so
oh, hello. I've got 136 Onyx XLs.
So I've already level 50'd at Onyx, and I have more XLs than you. Yeah.
All right. Well.
But this
as soon as I start playing this game.
Keep in mind, like we're in the future, we're gonna be getting Shadow Onyx too. So Shadow Steelix could become a thing as well. Not sure if it's gonna be better or not, but like keep that in mind too. Maybe
that's
you should
like this event, isn't it?
It's coming very soon, so maybe we should just like hold off and like think about it before you make any XL investments, just in case maybe you change your mind. You would want to build a Shadow one instead for, I don't know, certain matchups. I have no idea, but yeah, Shadow is coming, or Return Steelix. I have no idea if that has any play, but just
the other thing there though is you'd also need to find a good one. Which means, like, by the time you do that, then the event might be the Premier Cup might be over anyway.
I mean, yeah, but if you don't need it right this second, you know, maybe you're just thinking about it in the future. Because, like I said, Steelix also really good in Open. So it's one of those Pokemon that, like, if you're gonna invest in an Ultra League Mon, it's definitely a good one to do because it's good in a lot of different formats. So
my guess would be that it'd be comparable to Shadow Skarmory. Where, like, because it's so bulk oriented,
but like Dragon Tail hits hard, and like the psychic thing, Shadow psychic thing, Dragon Tail could be like kind of interesting, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You like those Dragon Tails would be chunking, like. So I don't know, just something to consider.
We were talking about Nidoqueen before. That would be like so. Did we get an answer on like whether that one, how bait dependent that one is against Steelix?
I mean, I don't think it beats Steelix even with baits, because
even with baits,
Psychic Fang just wrecks Nidoqueen, right? So she's Shadow, and you're doing Poison Jab.
Yeah, no, you're right. Oh, that's with Earthquake. Hang on.
That's with Earthquake. Like, how much does an Earth Power do to a Steelix?
Earth Power does 44% from a regular, and 53% from a Shadow.
Okay, so, and how much does a Poison Fang or a Psychic Fangs do?
23%. That's on the first one anyway.
Yeah, so those Dragon Tails are gonna be like decimating the Nidoqueen by the time you get to the second, third Poison Fang, right? Or whatever Psychic Fang.
And so it would be a similar story with Galarian Stunfisk as well.
Yeah, G-Fisk, I remember being like the top dog.
Yeah,
kind of in this meta.
It was pretty busted. Like... I feel like I remember Scrafty being more busted than G-Fisk, because it was like the Trevenant Walrein core breaker.
I feel like Scrafty. I feel like people had more like Trev wasn't around really, and Walrein wasn't around the last time this meta was here.
I'm pretty sure it was. I'm pretty sure that was the first time we discovered this Trevenant Walrein core. Was the last time Ultra Premier was here.
Might have been Premier Classic.
No, because we were also talking about how Scrafty was like one of the only core breakers. I'm pretty confident on this one.
I'm like pretty sure it's been a long time since we've had this meta, but Scrafty is inconsistent against Trev. Is my only.
Is it?
OS is very close. Nido versus
Zero Shields.
Yeah, the Zero Shield. Okay, sure. Yeah, I could see that. If you had Earthquake, it would be a little. Yeah, you would just go straight Earth Power with Dino. Yeah, Scrafty is just like, because it's a little bait dependent at times. It can be against Trev. Like if you decide to pop bait or something, I don't know.
Yeah, so
Trevenant outpaces you, right? Whereas Obstagoon is a little safer because it's 5 every time.
So Scrafty is ranked slightly higher, but yeah, I agree with what you're saying with like it's how it works in a practical sense.
I would say Obstagoon is probably a little bit more consistent than Scrafty, but Scrafty does have some insane potential. If you get if you can get it lined up or get where it starts getting ramped up and stuff, it's just almost unstoppable, right? So there's definitely pros and cons to both for sure.
Of course. Not quite as bad against Charmers. Like it's still not. I mean, it would have a bit more play against a lot of Ninetales.
Yeah, at least cross shop is neutral.
Yeah, and it's not taking super effective.
Well, it's taking super effective, but not double super effective.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Scrafty just gets deleted by Charmers, but Obstacle gets deleted by any other counter user. So pros and cons to both, right?
How many counter users do we expect here? We got Scrafty.
Swordfetch, always good. Shadow Machamp is a Escavalier, usually pretty popular in these Ultra League metas. So
Escavalier is what I like to call and Scrafty as well. What I like to call a roll buster, where it's like you've got your dark types in your just to compare it to Great League, we've got Umbreon and Mandibuzz are your dark types, but then you've got Scrafty, which is a dark type that just feels a completely different role. And when you're trying to construct a team, you can think, okay, this handles the darks, this handles the bugs, this handles the electrics, whatever. But then there's these certain Pokemon like your Scrafty, like your Escavalier, which are just a category of their own, and you have to think about those Pokemon specifically. Does that make sense?
Trev, yes, it does make sense. It's just called being flexible, right? It's a flexible mon. It has more than one role and coverage. That's how I like to think about it. But I think they're all good. I think Shadow Machamp also going to be good. All these counter uses. I don't know about Lucario, but the other ones look fine.
Yeah, I'm interested that it's higher than Shadow Champ.
I mean, one.
One higher. Well, it's still higher. Technically correct. That is the best kind of correct.
What's its consistency versus Machamp?
80 consistency versus 88 for Machamp.
There you go. It's more bait dependent for the Lucario. Trev, Nidoqueen, Nidoking? I don't know. It sounds like a bad time for some ice types, but you could try it. Other than that, it could be okay.
I want Nidoking to be good.
Nidoking is bad. Don't use
I know. I want it to be good. They keep trying to make it good.
Sandtomb is not Poison Fang.
No.
It's much worse.
And the stats.
Yeah.
The lack of defense.
I wouldn't run Nidoking. You could Trev Nido Queen is a common core. You could probably run Trev Nido G-Fisk or something. Would probably be better.
So Trev Nido would be weak to Walrein, wouldn't it?
I mean, Trev is okay against Walrein now because they pace at the same time.
Yeah.
But it's still not ideal, yeah. But
yeah, sure.
I think it would be better with G-Fisk or Steelix there than Nidoking, obviously, but as usual, Swampert's always top of the meta.
Yeah.
It's just super hits so hard. with Hydro Cannon.
And it doesn't have that famous 2 Hydro Cannon thing against Trevenant in Ultra League, does it? Because Trevenant's bulkier.
Probably not, but you can check and see how much a Hydro does.
Yeah, only 32%. Oh wait, yeah, that's the Shadow.
2 EQs. You need 2 EQs.
Yeah, which is I mean that Earthquake doesn't even do 50%.
That's 49.4. That almost rounds up. Come
on. Yeah, so there's just imagine how little play you've got in Great League with that.
It's always good. Swampert's always good. Obviously, everyone knows its weakness, grass. Also doesn't like dragons very much. Also doesn't like other water types.
Mainly
because yeah, like those types of things that resist its water moves. Because its main thing is it's just spamming Hydro Cannons and getting shields, right? So Shadow, regular, they're both ranked pretty high. I think you could go with either or.
Are you using it for anything other than a ground type counter?
I mean, it does okay against the fighters. It does okay against
And only with shields down, I think.
Yeah, like it's good. It's good to get shields. It definitely is like a nice. People like using it as like an opener or a closer because it's good at peeling shields away from your opponent, right? Even like a Scrafty doesn't want to. After the first Hydro Cannon, they really start, wondering what they're gonna do.
Yeah.
Just puts a lot of pressure.
But then, like, if it's a Swampert versus a Machamp lead, for example, like you're...
Oh, well, you outpace Machamp.
You do, but the counters are doing so much.
Yeah, because the old way you had to beat Swampert was you had to go for the sneak and then deny. That was the way because they outpace you, right?
Yeah.
So you need to. I would go I knew my win con is like I go for the sneak, and then if I get denied, I'm fucked, and then I would try to deny, and if they sneak, I also am fucked. So, if you snuck and denied, it didn't happen every time, obviously, because I wasn't on like West Coast or whatever, like wherever the peak sneak denying was, but yeah, that was funny thinking about it now. Some of the old, like even the Swampert Surfetch matchup, it used to be like pretty okay for Surfetch, but now they like with shields they just outpace you, and those Hydro Cannons hurt. So
it's wild to me that's like people would talk about that like, oh, you just have to sneak and then deny this move, and then that's how you play this matchup.
I mean, like you wouldn't necessarily need like. I wouldn't say like that I would rely on it, but I would try to do it because that's kind of what you needed to do in order to win it, right? It's like if this happens, then I can win the matchup. If this doesn't happen, I'm gonna lose anyway, so I might as well try to do it, right? So that's kind of the way I looked at it. So, but honestly, I think I'm actually becoming like a way better battler now, that with the current state of the game.
Why is
like
that?
I don't know. Like I'm just reaching like higher and higher on the leaderboards, and I've more consistently than I ever have before. I just think it's like more of an even playing field. Like
I don't think it's because of the state of the game. I think it's just like I constantly tell people that the best way to get better is just to get involved in the conversation, and you do that more than anyone else I know. Like you're always
well,
like watching people battle. Yeah.
I was watching you the other day at like 3 a.m. trying to give you team advice as I was sitting passing out on the couch.
Yeah. Did you see how well I did with your Deoxys team?
Everyone else is doing really well with it, so I think it's the driver, not the car.
I have gotten up to 2880 with the team I was running.
Oh, okay. 2880. You're almost there.
Yeah, almost there. So that's Rapidash, Metacham, and I was running Alolan Raichu as my safe switch. Now I'm running Hisuian Quillfish.
I was gonna say that seems like too much psychic.
Yeah, it was a lot of psychic. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I still beat some Sableye teams, but it was tough.
The more the meta goes along, the more Sableye is becoming in the meta,
and
it's like really good. So yeah, ADA psychic is very risky, I think, in this meta.
Yeah. But I mean, it's been working for me so far. So
no, you have Quillfish now. You said.
Yeah, but it's still ABA psychic because I'm still running Rapidash in the league and Metacham.
Okay. Good luck.
Well, if I'm gonna have a counter user, it has to be Metacham because like otherwise it's just too glassy a team.
Sure.
So I've used Metacham to like tank some.
Metacham's pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty good in the meta too.
Anyway,
that's a new addition. Since
yeah.
I use my favorite one, number 12. Ooh, baby, I'm so excited to use this thing in this meta.
The double. Would you run it with that moveset? Body Slam Payback?
Probably, because I would probably want it as an anti-ghost, anti-steal. Because you don't do well against, like, you beat G-Fist with Payback, right? You don't beat G-Fist with Wild Charge.
I didn't know that. I didn't know you could beat G-Fist.
Well, you have double kick, right?
Yeah.
And then you have Payback, which is neutral. But your other moveset would be Wild Charge, and you still beat all the ghost types. You still beat Walrein and Polion. I love this thing. It looks so good. I think it's gonna be insane safe swap. Like, I think it's gonna be one of the best safe swaps in this meta, in my opinion.
It has to be a hundo level 50.
Yeah, mine's a 50 and 50 and 14. I already have it best buddied, and it's actually at level 50.5.
Oh, really? Wow.
The level I'm using it at. So
far out. How does one do that? Like, I don't know. Like, get that much XL candy. How do you get 300 XL candy?
I'm walking it.
How much did you walk it?
Quite a bit. So as soon as I caught a bunch of them when it was out, because I knew that it could be good if it ever got a move update. So I was at like 130 XL before they buffed it.
Yeah.
And then I had a 98. So as soon as I found out about it, I basically just started walking for Ultra League because I thought it would be really fun. Let's see, double here. My rank 7 Ultra League. Double, I walked this 220 kilometers.
Wow.
So I have 60 XLs left. Technically I need 80 to power it up to level 50. But if I power it up to 49.5, I can best buddy it. So I could power it up to 50 if I want, but I don't know. Just like I'm crazy, right?
I mean, no, yeah. I mean, it looks good to me as well. Like really, really safe. It's rated 95 as a safe switch.
Yeah, it looks insane.
Very consistent.
There's not a lot of things that like clap it. Like maybe Shadow Machamp or something would be like the worst thing to come into it. Like even like a Talonflame things it says it like loses to. If they swap late, you get a couple double kicks. Oh god.
Okay, so let's give it a couple of double kicks against the meta.
Oh baby, nobody wants to come.
One or two?
Let's give it 2 double kicks.
Let's give it 2 just to really paint that. Just to really paint that Lyle picture. And look at that, 47-13 now from 50-50.
Even Shadow Machamp, look at 354. Like telling you, yo, what's up, crazy kid?
Hey,
hope you're having a good night. Even look at Escav. It gets a pretty. I'm probably with a bait against Escav. Yeah, I'm telling you, man, these double kicks, they start popping off, and those body slams, they come out quick. Only thing I would say, caution people, is just make sure you're cognizant of your timing with 3-turn moves, because it can be kind of important. Like, you don't want to throw an alignment versus people with 2-turn moves and things like that. that's kind of important, right? Because you don't want to be giving your opponent extra fast moves if possible. So sometimes 3-turn moves can be tricky for people. But yeah,
it's
just something to consider.
So what I've been playing with is like we always think about how to time our moves so that we're giving our opponent the least amount of free energy, but we rarely think about how to time our moves so that we get the free energy. So like in a case of, say, our 3-turn move into an opponent's 2-turn move, if their move generates energy quicker than ours, then we can kind of use that to our advantage by just not throwing until that, like letting them throw first, then we're forcing them to give us the free energy.
Sure. Yeah, if they're throwing on good timing, it should be pretty minimal either way, but over farming
it can make the difference in close match. Like, do you remember that's the whole idea came from that remember when those guys came out and were like, oh, we found this new concept in battling, it's called cycle resetting?
Yeah, so that's like, I think what they're talking about more is like
they basically just held off their move. It was just them holding off their move so that they got the extra free turn of fire spin, and that flipped the battle.
Yeah, so making your opponent throw first, and then you reset the cycle during the charge move. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So the whole term cycle reset, I don't know if that's really a thing. Like I don't know. They were trying to give a name to it, but essentially it's just, yeah, like you said, holding off your charge move. That way you get free energy, and that enables you to flip a really close matchup like that.
Yeah, I think there's definitely pros, and it's very situational dependent, right? Sometimes you want to put shield pressure on your opponent. Sometimes you want to come out of the matchup with extra energy. So it's but in general, 3-turn moves can be a little tricky for some people, which is why most people prefer to use 2-turn or 1-turn moves. Usually, I'd say. Not always,
but. Any reason to run Como as your dragon of choice?
I don't know. That's a good question. I guess you're not double weak to ice, but yeah, the fighting coverage doesn't give you anything really.
Does Dragonite beat Empoleon in the ones?
Oh, now it does.
Now it does.
Power.
Yeah.
Oh,
right. Yeah. Okay. And
you destroy Empoleon.
Even better as well.
Oh yeah.
Stunfisk, that's a big one.
Well, so, because for Empoleon, the drill peck is super effective, right? So versus Como.
Yeah, true.
Only neutral versus Dragonite, so.
Stunfisk is going to be a big one for that.
Yeah, it will be definitely better for Como because you're resisting the rock move.
Slides. Yeah, whereas Dragonite's weak to it, so it's
so
double difference.
And you outpace I think. Wait, how many is it? 5 Dragon Tails? So they will technically outpace you to the Earthquake, but like a close combat does a crap ton to G-Fist. So yeah, I think there's definitely pros and cons.
I don't think they do outpace you. It's 15 turns to the close combat, 16 turns to an Earthquake.
Is it 15 turns?
Yeah, 5 times
5 Dragon Tails.
5 times 3.
Right. And it's 8.
I think they outpace you to the second.
Yeah,
so, like the Stunfisk outpaces to the second. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's close either way.
But, it is close, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's probably the main advantage is the G-Fist, and then although it does lose to Trev, it says so.
It does too, but that's pretty close. Like that's flippable.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll probably go with Dragonite. I'd say most people probably have a Dragonite built. More likely than, and it's a little more accessible than Como, so
yeah,
Como might be a little like sexier, but
I think it's an ugly Pokemon. I wouldn't call it sexier.
I mean, just the pick itself.
Mandibuzz is something we haven't talked about yet.
Mandibuzz is like very meta in this league. So, like those were the big ones back in the day, like Politoed, Mandibuzz, G-Fisk, Steelix. Yeah, I would use Steelix if you have it. It definitely looks amazing. Like Surfetch is also really good because we just passed that one in terms of fighter. We did talk about the fighters earlier, but I'll just say quickly, like Surfetch is probably your most versatile fighter in the meta because of the moveset. You never kind of know what it's going to be throwing at you. Whether it's like a Brave Bird, Night / Leaf Blade, right? Also could run close combat if you want to get crazy. So.
Yeah,
but,
totally.
Yeah, Mandibuzz, it's just so bulky, right? That's the thing about this cup. Is it's just like the bulk, all the like super bulky Pokemon just like take over.
4809.
Look at its consistency.
Yeah, that's
it's 100.
I mean,
there's no baiting. There's zero baiting. It's just out bulking things.
This is suggesting Snarl. Do you agree with that?
Probably, yeah. I probably think Snarl is better. I mean, if you need it as an anti-fighter, then you don't really want Snarl, but just in general, like Snarl allows it to get to things, and like look at how close the matchup with G-Fisk is with Snarl. Like, it just is insane. So.
Yeah, that is super close. So like.
And they're recommending Foul Play. I wonder if it's any better with
like Shadow Ball. Or...
No, Dark Pulse. Shadow Ball? What the fuck? Who you Astro?
Shadow Ball's good. Like we all know how good Shadow Ball is.
I think I battled Astro in like an Open Great League tournament before, and he was running Shadow Ball, Foul Play on his Mandibuzz and Snarl, and I had a Scrafty, and it was just a destruction, pure utter destruction.
Yeah, so I will give you that it loses to Scrafty with Foul Play Shadow Ball.
Snarl.
Yeah, and Snarl. But
can you just put on Dark Pulse? I just want to see if it changes the matchup
instead of Foul Play.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
I rest my case.
And in the 2 shields as well.
Dark Pulse, baby. I think Dark Pulse is better if you're running Snarl. It just does a bit more damage.
Yeah, I agree.
And you're getting there in 4 Snarls every time anyways, right? So it's not that big a deal. Yeah, imagine a flying type beating a ground steel type with
crazy.
A rock move. There you go.
Would that change with any sort of energy lead on their part? So it looks like they need.
Oh, for sure. They get to that last rock side there, basically, right?
Like how much though? Like just
one shot. It looks like. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Okay,
but they have
so
2 HP. Like it's insanely close.
Yeah, so it would have to be like you switching in the Mandibuzz and then them trying to counter with the G-Fisk. If they switch in their G-Fisk, you can't bring in the Mandibuzz and go, I win this one.
I mean, if you like get like one, maybe if you get like a bit of a chip on it first.
Yeah, that's true. No, because. Oh yeah, no, because they're only surviving with 2 HP. Yeah. Cool. No, you're right.
Yes, Crazy Kid. I was drooling over Dubwool earlier. I think it's going to be really solid, so I would definitely suggest using it if you have one.
I mean, there's always an opportunity to talk about it more.
Like, there's going to be other ones that are similar, like Miltank down there.
And yeah, Miltank and Greedent, I was looking at both of those. Could you run like triple normal?
Oh, he gets 2 ads? Oh, jeez. What works well with it? Double. I was going to run. I was going to try a team that was Dragonite, Double, and G-Fisk. So, which would be a little
so
tough.
G-Fisk draws out the counter. Well,
double. So, I would say swap.
Yeah. So I always put the switch third.
I always put the switch second.
Yeah, right.
Or as I call it, the pivot.
Yep. Yeah, so you're drawing out the counters.
Nothing is really safe when we're switching. The whole point is we're giving up switch. The opponent has the opportunity to counter us, right?
Yeah, sure.
But certain mons are better, more flexible in that role than others. Even if they bring in a counter to it, we can still at least get put shield pressure on them, right? So, yeah, that's the team I'm looking at currently, but it might change soon. I'm not sure yet. I haven't decided yet whether I want to spend dust on a G-Fisk or not.
I believe
that's the only thing holding it back.
I believe that is one I can build, is an Ultra League G-Fisk now.
And my current Ultra League
never mind.
Dragonite has Draco Meteor as well. But I evolved another one with Draco Meteor, so I can TM away Draco on that one if I want to power up the other Shadow. It's a Shadow. It's not a regular, but the best switch for a reason. I don't know about that. It's double weak to Charm, right? And it gets absolutely walled by Fairy types. So, I mean, if they have a Fairy type in the back, they're just gonna farm you all the way down, right?
I mean, there's not too many viable ones. You got your A9 rank 65. You've got
A9 is like really good. Clefable's okay.
Sylveon's down at 111.
And if they have a Galarian Weezing in the back, oh boy, they'll just Fairy Wind you down. I think Sylveon. Well, they're also recommending Quick Attack. I think A9 is still gonna be popular, even with I know it's ranked 60, but like people love their fairies, and A9 is really nice typing.
Yeah.
Draco Meteor is it good? It is very niche. I would say it used to be better, but now that it has superpower, you most likely want to run superpower as your second move. I evolved some extra ones to keep with Draco. But for the most part, I would say Superpower or Hurricane if you want to surprise some Fairy types. Maybe they're not expecting it. You could definitely one-hit KO something that's like maybe, been chipped already. So
it is legit one of the most high damage moves in the game.
Oh, so it's fun landing. I think Draco's almost better in Great League because you can like one-shot things. It does a lot of damage, and it's not that high energy.
So it's the second hardest hitting move after Aeroblast, but it gives you and 65 energy, so less energy than Aeroblast, less energy than Focus Blast.
All the other 150 ones are like 75, 80, right? So, it's definitely a good move. Is it good on
Dragonite?
Dragonite now? I would say no. I wouldn't say no, but I'd say it's not as useful as superpower coverage.
I remember, against in Master League, if I had Excadrill against a Dragonite before superpower, I would still have to worry about a Draco Meteor because that was enough to flip that matchup if I let a Draco Meteor through.
Yeah.
Or
it's definitely okay.
One of those two.
Dalga, Draco kills Excadrill. Yeah. So, like I said, I definitely think it can have play, but definitely the preferred moveset right now is Superpower. Or I would still say Hurricane has play because of the coverage. Sometimes people aren't expecting that Hurricane coverage. We are looking at the Ultra League Premier meta, which is no legendaries in Ultra League. Clefable is nice. It's like a pretty bulky charmer. Sylveon has that flexibility. And Granbull is just like very high attack.
But they're all like, okay, so let me compare this to this regular Ultra League. Like, are the Charmers ranked that low in regular Ultra League as well? And they just overperform?
People love their Charmers, dude.
Yeah, so I mean, they're ranked pretty low here. Ninetale's like a little bit higher up, but still not great. Then you got... This is Fairies, not just Charmers, so like Florges and Tapu Fini being up there too. Clefable at 67, what is it here? Clefable's 68.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I still think people are going to use them.
Yeah.
Because everyone loves their tap teams, so... and nothing wrong with a good Charmer. Definitely keeps
I mean, they're legitimately good.
It keeps the dragons at bay. Just a little bit of an unbalanced move, but other than that, it's fine.
This would be another Pokemon to handle like Trevenant Walrein with. Like, it technically doesn't beat Trevenant, but it pressures.
Yeah.
Like, could you just tank a Weather Ball as a Trevenant? I don't think so. Not with Charm.
Oh yeah, in Ultra League. Oh well, you definitely wouldn't kill you, but
But then, like, they can just charm you down if you tank it.
Probably. So, it does about half its stairs.
Yeah, 45%. Each charm is doing 8.8%. So, but what is it? 6 charms to a Weather Ball.
6, yeah.
Yeah, so that's 6 times 8.8. Here we go. We got it's like 53% damage just in charms. And then getting the Weather Ball off as well. So yeah, you can't tank it. You got a shield.
I mean, technically you can, but you won't survive the charms afterwards. As I tell people and the people that I coach, we can't shield charms, so we should just shield the move they're gonna throw.
I bet that's why they love you. That nothing's better while being coached than extreme sarcasm.
No, that's not sarcasm. That's legit. You can't shield charms.
Said in a sarcastic manner.
I would shield the charms if I could. I would say, do you want to shield the Weather Ball? No, I would like to shield the next 4 charms. Okay,
I would love if we had that choice. That would be amazing. Alright, what else is worth looking at? We got Galvantula?
I mean, looks pretty good, but it depends on the popularity of the ground types, right?
Yeah, because like
if like G-Fist, Steelix, Nidoqueen all up there,
and Swampert as well.
Yeah, Swampert, it's a little closer because you can at least lunge it, but and it's only single resisted electric. But if the ground types are that popular, I mean, but that's another one that can sort of handle Trev Walrein, right? So, you know, it's definitely going to have play.
How good is it against Trevenant, though?
It's not bad, because you can get some lunges off, and... Yeah, it's like losing, but I think if you have a bit of an energy lead, you can keep that close. It's a bait dependent, right? Exclamation point coach. Coaching. Okay, I'm not sure that is a command, but you can let fish...
We can think of something to make that command do.
It's a bait dependent, right? So what happens if you turn off baiting for Trevenant?
It's baiting off. Yeah, Galvantula's still losing. I mean,
so why
like,
bait then is the question. Why bait? It's risky. Yeah. If you're still gonna win. If you're still gonna win with going straight Shadow Ball, you would never bait. Yeah. So like I said, I don't know. But like you could probably win like the 1-0 or like the some like it has play against it.
It's like what was I saying before? It was the Trevenant. I was saying like, oh yeah, you could overcome an obstacle in like all these. So like the Galvantula's the same. Like you can beat the Trevenant if you have a bunch of energy stored. And in Galvantula's defense, like, it's a very easy Pokemon to have a move stored in the back.
Yeah, or like you can easily, like, if you lose Switch, you can come in and like shield once, Volt Switch something down, which is a nice thing about Volt Switch. Is that you have that flexibility between like doing the fast move, pressure or damage, and charging energy quickly, right?
Yeah.
So so next let's talk about Miltank. So these and Greedent, there's two very important distinctions I will say. They both are very bulky and good movesets. The fast move just depends on what you want to use it for, in my opinion. Do you want to use it as a generalist, or do you want to use it as an anti-ghost type? Because I don't think they do very well as an anti-ghost type with Tackle as the fast move.
Even with Ice Beam on Miltank?
Yeah. Look, it's losing to Trevenant.
Yeah, wow.
So
whereas,
if you
what about Rollout?
It destroys Trev with Rollout. Like, absolutely destroys it.
Yeah, right.
So, it's not as consistent in certain other matchups because Rollout's kind of a clunky move. So it depends what you want to use it for. So just keep that in mind. I mean, there's no baiting for Trev. It's just going to go straight to Seed Bomb anyways, right?
Yeah, look at that.
So just something to consider if you want it, what role you're using these normal types as. Because also Greedent can learn Bullet Seed too, which allows it to get to those crunches much quicker, right?
How does this do with Tackle against Trevenant? So that still wins with the Tackle.
It's very close. Though.
It is closer than you want it to be.
For a normal type, going against a Ghost.
Yeah.
And one thing where Tackle really does help out is against like Snorlax, the other normal types with the Ghost type fast move, because you can actually do like fast move damage. Also, it really helps against some flying types for Greedent, like let's say what do you call it, Talonflame and things like that. Also, surprisingly, Tackle helps Greedent versus Empoleon. Who would have known?
Interesting. Why is that?
Yeah. Because Bullet Seed is just shit, and it doesn't do any damage. So it doesn't matter if it's neutral; it's not doing anything anyways.
And so the fact that you're spamming the crunches off faster doesn't make a difference.
Also, the Bullet Seed versus Waterfall, you're throwing on alignment every time, and you're spamming crunches, so they're sneaking in waterfalls every single time, right?
Okay.
So with the Tackle, you can actually control. Like, I'm pretty sure Greedent wins the 2-shield versus Empoleon with Tackle. And I'm pretty sure that's straight body slam. I don't think it's any baiting.
Really?
So, like, just something to consider. It's very close, but just, like, if you can work on your timing. But again, Bullet Seed will help you against G-Fist and things like that, right?
Whereas, but then, like, I'm looking at some of these scores, and I'm like, well, Double just beats that on its own.
Better.
Why... What reason do you have to run Greedent instead of a Double? I mean,
if you
don't have a Double,
get fuck Greedent. That's all I gotta say.
Maybe Greedent's probably a little more accessible than Double.
Oh, 100%. Because like there was even a Spotlight Hour, I think. Well, there might have been one for Wooloo too, but I don't think I really played that. But also, Greedent's coming back during this Gluttonous whatever the hell event.
Yeah.
Also, Greedent is only 1 kilometer walking, so if you get that thing excited, it's super easy to grind XLs. And also, it's coming back tomorrow. And also, like with the megas bonuses we have now, you should be able to get it in no time, right? If you have a Mega Pidgeot, but most people should have at least a Mega 2 normal type by now, between like Kangaskhan, Pidgeot, what's the other, Lopunny.
Yeah, I really should start working on that, shouldn't I?
Oh, it's a game changer, man. You should try to get them to level 3 if you can. Like my Pidgeot is level 3, so I could just like get so many XLs.
Does it increase the XLs you get from walking or just catching?
Just catching, but it's almost like it basically works out like with the Mega 3, it basically works out to 1 XL per catch.
Okay, cool.
So imagine if you go catch 300 Pokemon, you will get 300 XLs roughly. Which is really good compared to the old drop rate.
Yeah. Bomber Snow, I think, would have a lot of play.
It definitely does. It used to be pretty good in this meta too. Obviously, struggles against Talonflame.
Yeah.
Empoleon's one of those funny matchups where you're both dealing resistant damage, but Empoleon just double resists ice. So yeah, I just ran the Mega Gengar.
Got over 1,000 XL. That's crazy. Shadow Redbeard.
I didn't get that many, but I'm at like 370 MS XLs.
Yeah.
Because I didn't like go that hard during that event, but during the that Steel event, I was running megas during that time, and like I was able to. I have enough XLs now for a Ferrothorn for Ultra League. I have enough XLs for like a bunch of things, Metagross, all that stuff. So
yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, if I could do both Rude and Call as Shadows too. Well, that is definitely dedication.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah,
maybe I should start playing this game.
I mean, you could play it a little bit more than you already do. I don't think that would be too much of an ask.
Well, I don't know. I'd have to play it a lot more to be able to get like enough XLs to XL one thing out of an event. Like, I'd have to step up my game a lot.
Just start working on your megas.
Yeah, cool.
It doesn't take that much, right? So.
Yeah.
Yeah, Abomasnow.
Yeah, cool.
Interesting. I don't know.
It does lose to Walrein, which is interesting. Like, I would have thought with that energy, but like, you can tank an Icicle Spear or two.
You can, but it's just that because the energy ball is high, I think you win the Zero Shield as Abomasnow.
Yeah.
Zarude, double steal for Obermasters, Exegil, Metagross. That could be okay. I mean, I think you would struggle versus like a Ho-Oh quite a bit. So it would just depend on how common that is. But yeah, I think Dragon, usually they have like a Dragon in the front with the double steal because it helps with some of the but it would like your backline would be good against like, or you would be good against Kyogre, but yeah, you'd have to worry about the Ho-Oh for sure. Rude, Extra, Lando. Yeah, that seems like it could work too. Like, Extra is a little bit better against Ho than Metagross. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't think I would use Shadow Abomasnow or regular Abomasnow, but it's definitely like, you know, viable for sure.
I think it's got the ability to hit some pretty common targets nicely.
Its main issue is obviously fighting types, fire types, and things that resist ice. That's about it. Everything else, it's like got really nice coverage against.
Yeah, so it's a pretty targeted Pokemon.
It's a little bit of an RPS Pokemon, but it's definitely can be flexible. But it also can be a little bit bait dependent at time. With the energy weather ball combo.
How about Tentacruel?
Tentacruel looks pretty good. I was just gonna say I'm surprised Talonflame is this low. I'm not sure why, because like Talonflame's always like really good. I think it's one of those ones that might get more use than the rankings possibly. I'm not sure. Because
how does it do against Steelix? Surely that's a good
one
for
Steelix
it, right?
It destroys.
Yeah.
G-Fisk it's a little close.
G-Fisk is harder, right? Yeah. Trevenant, is it still like, does Trevenant still win that one with a successful bait? Says no here.
It's very close.
Very close, but it survives the Shadow Ball if it lands.
Yeah,
which means that you probably wouldn't shield the first one because you know you can tank a Shadow Ball.
What beats Steelix? Fighting types, Talonflame beats Steelix.
Swamp it.
Swampert, Empoleon destroys Steelix. Basically other steel types.
That's assuming like Empoleon might have to watch out for like a surprise earthquake.
I mean, yeah, if you want to be a psychopath and earthquake him, I probably wouldn't shield as the unless I needed to, unless it was like an endgame scenario.
I mean, you got to acknowledge that earthquake exists, even though Crunch is the better move in the meta.
It definitely exists. You definitely don't want to take one. That would definitely hurt. Yeah, I think those are all very good options against it. Grass types can do okay-ish against them. Like Meganium is there. That would do well against Steelix.
Excadrill, yeah, would be good against it.
I don't think, I think you would probably prefer to run G-Fist, but if you don't have one, then Excadrill could be like a decent substitute. I would probably lean towards Empoleon over Excadrill, but I mean, they have their pros and cons for sure.
Empoleon, A9, and Shadow Champ. What do you think of that team?
I used to like running Empoleon and Shadow Machamp together, but it's very tricky against Trevenant, that core.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, so that's the only issue with the Empoleon Shadow Machamp core is Trevenant. So I actually prefer Nidoqueen Shadow Machamp core personally, but it also depends on how common confusion users are. If there's not a lot of confusion users, I prefer that core more in the current meta. But
it's still struggle with Trevenant though, wouldn't it?
Nidoqueen does much better against Trevenant than Empoleon because you have neutral Poison Fangs, right?
Yeah, sure. What about Confusion? Confusion users are never really popular, are they?
I don't think they're going to be popular in this meta.
No. I mean, Gallade could have some play.
Gallade is somewhat around, but it's more of a Premier Classic.
Yeah.
Oranguru does seem kind of interesting, though, because it can beat Treva and Walrein, I believe.
Yep.
So I think that is interesting, but it just gets walled by steel types. And also Mandibuzz will absolutely wreck it.
Yeah, any dark type.
It's very risky, but I think it could possibly get play. But I'm not sure.
Yeah, overall we're not really seeing much place for Confusion.
Yeah, so you could try Harambe for the win. Yeah, sure. You could try a Nidoqueen Shadow Machamp, something like that. Hopefully you don't see any Skarmory, but...
Well, let's just jump into Team Builder for a sec.
Sure, yeah. Like I said, this meta is also very XL dominated, very it's, I wouldn't say top heavy, but like if you have a bulky XL Pokemon, you could probably make it work.
Skarmory?
Power Skarm? I don't know. It's not bad, but like it's just like with all the steel types and stuff, it's just... Speaking of XL Altaria, I would probably just go with Dragonite over Altaria because of the coverage, but...
You're saying Nidoqueen Machamp, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Shadow Nidoqueen?
Sure, you can run Shadow or regular, it doesn't matter. It loses to Trevenant again, but like I don't think that's that bad. Swampert is annoying. Oh, okay, Coffin, that would be the one that I would be, and Rune. Those okay. So then maybe this core is not great. Because those two would be just a nightmare. Would you rather run Pidgeot over Skarm? Probably.
Skarm would do better against the Walrein Trev core than... so Skarm does better against Walrein, but worse against Trevenant than Pidgeot.
I like that because they're both like only flying moves, but I do like the fact that you can Feather Dance things.
Yeah.
So I would probably lean towards Pidgeot, but they both have their pros and cons for sure. But if I had to pick a flying type, if I had to pick a flying type, I would probably just like stick with like Dragonite or Talonflame. Talonflame is so good because of the Brave Bird Flame Charge combo. Like, even things that it's not supposed to beat, it can somehow like put it close or sometimes flip certain matchups. And there's not a lot of rock types, which is what, because like Regirock isn't eligible. Like, is there any other rock types? Gigalith? I don't think people are going to be using Gigalith. What other rock types are there in the meta?
Credilli at 94.
Takes neutral from that. Aurora's takes super effective, or I guess neutral from fire. Relicanth would be an issue. If people start using Relicanth, maybe Talonflame would be not good, but until that point, I would definitely probably lean towards that for flying coverage.
You sounded sincere when you said if people start using Relicanth.
I mean, I would like it. I would say like, yo, good on you.
Yeah, you can only get it in like New Zealand and Queensland. That's it.
Fish, show us your XL Relicanth. Go.
I have a Relicanth that a friend traded to me.
What does it need to? Do you need a hundo or something? What does it need?
Yeah, you do. No, actually, no. A rank 1 is level 47. This one is 713 IVs.
Yo, get that shit XL then. Let's go.
All right. Well, I have to start walking it with a mega. What's a mega rock or water type that's.
No, it doesn't. Only when you're catching them, it counts.
Right.
So you would want Mega, probably Mega Gyarados is the most useful water type. Rock type, you could use Aerodactyl, I think is the only one.
Is that currently a thing that's in?
Oh my god. Oh my god, Fish.
I don't play this game.
Oh geez.
You know this.
Okay, let's get off the Relicanth. Let's go back to the list and see if there's anything else that looks interesting. I don't think Relicanth is super good, but it honestly doesn't look horrible.
The PvPoke meta list is 40 Pokemon long, which is pretty wide.
Like Empoleon's down here at 124, and I think it's gonna get some decent play.
Yeah, that's crazy low for that.
It just seems kind of funny, I think, because of the waterfall. It's a little clunky.
Yeah.
But, I got XLs for it. What? Okay, what else? So, okay, let's just go from down Empoleon down. I want to see if there's anything else up here. Hold on, don't go through. I just want to see if there's anything else up here. No, like down, back towards the other way.
Okay.
Jellicent is 139? Really? 139
is 130. Or 130 here.
That's interesting because Jellicent is all like he used to be really good in this meta.
It's I mean the rise of
Steelix. The rise of Steelix and Trevenant?
Yeah.
Okay. I guess
it would still be
scroll down and see if there's anything else a little bit under this. I just want to see if there's
that's lower than it should be. Granbull, that's lower than that should be.
Gengar is more of a premier classic Pokemon, I'd say.
I think it does well in anything.
Pelipper? What is this Pelipper doing this low?
Milotic. I think that's a decent pick.
Should I use Raichu? I have a Raichu. It's almost there. I just finished best buddying it. It's got a Santa hat.
You should use it. I mean, amazing against Walrein.
Is it? I feel like an Earthquake would still KO me.
Yeah, but then, like, don't you get to almost 2 wild charges in that time?
Okay, yeah. Sure, it does beat Walrein. And Manabuzz. And Talonflame. Okay.
Let's go. Lock it in.
Gets Somehow, not even horrible against Trev. Okay, Togekiss, Crobat, Golem, Oranguru. Yeah, I think we're kind of running out of...
Crobat, that like overperforms as well.
Crobat is shit.
Crobat's pretty darn good.
No, you're thinking Premier Classic.
Yeah, probably.
He gets destroyed by all the steel types, like
yeah,
G-Fist,
no, you're right? You're right. Yep.
That's the problem with it. I'm really surprised Jellicent is this low. I think that's kind of a funny ranking thing.
It's a bit of a sleeper.
I think it will be more popular than that.
Bouffalon.
Oh my
god. Mudshot Stomp.
Muffin is always talking about Bouffalon. I think it has Earthquake too. You could run Stomp, Earthquake, but it's definitely
Megahorn.
Yeah, sure.
Alright, I'm gonna scroll right back up again.
Yeah. Flygon, Beware, Drapion, Rune, Primeape, Lantern.
We have Overquill. Dark Poison.
Goodra. I remember Goodra being pretty good in this meta too. Drapion. Yeah, Drapion is always good. Shadow preferred. Skunk Tank. You get that Shadow Poison jab damage, and you have the flamethrower for G-Fist and things like that. I remember 2-0 Butters was using like Shadow Skunk Tank a lot.
As his pivot?
Yeah, exactly. With the flamethrower and things like that. I think he was running like team with like Skunk Tank Frostlass or something like that.
Wow. Like
he was always very spicy.
Did he forget that G-Fist was a thing?
I think he had like a Swampert lead or something. I don't know. Okay,
sure. Because, like, yeah, you've got Flamethrower for G-Fist, but it takes you 16 turns to get there as opposed to the 16 turns on the G-Fist. The G-Fist can tank a Flamethrower. I don't know if, like, the Skunk Tank can tank an Earthquake with any sort of comfort.
Oh, no. It cannot. Trev, Shadow Skunk, Drapion. Be nice. I mean, yeah, I think so. Like, Caleb Pang was running like the team in Great League with like Trev and then like the Drapion pivot. So I think you could make something like that work.
Scrafty and Obstagoon.
Yeah, Scrap again. That's always a problem with those like those Ghosts plus something weak to counter teams is that they're gonna lose to the Dark Fighters, but. If you're okay with that, like every team has things it loses to, right? So if you're okay with losing to exactly who uses Scrafty? I might have to bust out Scrafty. Maybe I'll run a Scrafty. Yeah, G-Fisk in the front, Scrafty in the back, right? That sounds like a good team.
G-Fist in the front. I mean, so what do you do against a counter lead?
You bait the Earthquake, and then you get a shield, and then you land the Earthquake, and you KO
it. Easy. That's why you're a leaderboarder, Lyle.
Hey, I'm like number 60 right now, so I must know what I'm doing, right?
Yeah, and I can confirm that you've gotten there by running ABA weak to counter teams.
I don't like ABA weak to counter teams, honestly. I don't mind being ABA weak to like some things, but counter is one of the things I do not like being ABA weak to, because it's a lot of people like counter. It's pretty freaking good. So, I mean, if you're ABA weak to like Aerodactyl, that's one thing, right? But if you're ABA weak to Metacham, you got a problem. So,
So, what do you think are the Pokemon that the meta will center around? Like the absolute core meta?
I already said, like G-Fist, Trev,
yep.
Those like
Steelix.
Yeah, probably Steelix, like Swampert is going to be heavy in there. You got to throw in a Charmer. A9 is always like popular because it does pretty well even against like G-Fisk. You can weather ball it, right? Scrap also, like, you got to get your Dark Fighters in. Can we just go back to the rankings one more time? I just want to check Just keep going down for me a little bit. I just want to see. Again, like the normal types, always big. I used to like Snorlax, Shadow Snorlax a lot, but maybe like Double and like Greedent and Miltank might be slowly overtaking it, just because they're slightly a little more flexible with their moves. But definitely has play. Snorlax can beat G-Fisk, which Greedent doesn't really do, right?
How does it do that? So like,
superpower.
Can it go straight superpower?
I mean, you could bait and try to get a shield, or you could just go straight superpower. Just like it has the potential to beat it just because of the superpowers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So technically, I think it wins it in the Sims. It might probably with a bait. But you definitely win the 0 shield, right? So, I mean, there's that.
All right. So, any other ideas for teams? Like, you've got a. The reason I'm asking about the core meta is because then you need to be able to come up with teams that beat those core Pokemon.
Yeah, there was a team that I was running back in the day. I think it still might be good, which was Umbreon, Venusaur, Escavalier.
Umbreon, Venusaur, Escavalier.
Could be a decent team still.
And Umbreon would do pretty well against a Steelix.
Yep, does well against Steelix, beats Vandabuzz.
You're running Dark Pulse on that?
I was running Foul Play at the time, but I could experiment with Dark Pulse. I'm not sure. ABA weak to fighting? I mean, sure, but like...
I wouldn't call Escavalier weak to fighting.
I would say it's not great.
It's certainly not weak to it.
But,
like especially your Dark Fighters, your Obstagoon and Scrafty, it beats those, and then Machamp like is a loss, but it's not.
It doesn't actually. Technically, it doesn't beat Scrafty, but let's not get into that. Let's not get into that because Scrafty's just absolutely busted. So, with shields down, yes, it beats Scrafty. But if Scrafty decides to start shielding, you're gonna have a tough time figuring it out.
I know that's the case against Machamp as well. Like Scrafty can overcome Machamp.
Yeah, Scrafty's just kind of broken. That's why people like it so much. Why not Mandy lead? Because Venusaur is weak to they're kind of weak to ice. So, but Mandy could work. Yeah. Just also G-Fisk is a little tough too, with a little tougher with Mandy, whereas like Umbreon's like more neutral against G-Fisk, right? Yeah, it's one of those things. Like I said, there's no perfect team. I don't know. I'd have to like look and see. It's been a long time since I played this meta, but that's one that I remember using. Again, the other team I'm thinking of is the Dragonite double G-Fisk team. That
does sound really nice to me.
I'm just like I'm still not sure how I would play a G-Fisk lead. Like Steelix lead would be fine. G-Fisk lead, I'm not sure what I would do yet.
Yeah, can you tank one Rock Slide?
Yeah, especially in Ultra League, you can. I will definitely use Shadow Dragonite.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are the two teams I'm thinking of right now. I have to see because I'm trying to give some people in the members coaching some team tips just to help for their legend push, right?
Okay.
Because if they don't do it soon, then it's going to be Master League and Catch Cup, right?
Yeah. Yeah, which ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got elo for that.
I mean, Catch Cup seems interesting. Like, at least the good thing is all the Miltanks you caught on Go Battle Day, save those for Catch Cup. Because maybe you can run a nice Miltank team and like a Miltank Toxapex core. And like you have all the stuff from Halloween. So like Trevenant, you could build like maybe you need a better Trev or a Coffin or something. But yeah, let's just go quickly down here and see. Samurott, has gotten a community day since this meta. Gudra, I always liked a lot in this meta too with the grass type coverage.
Yep.
But that was also more when Jellicent was more popular. Now that Trev is the ghost type.
Is the ghost type of choice.
It might be not as great.
Oh, there was a team that, like, one of the first teams that I like had huge gains with, I think might have been an Ultra Premier, and I remember it contained Flygon. It was like Dragontail Flygon.
I mean, it's, you know, I think it will just depend on how popular Walrein is, right?
Well, it'll be less popular than it was back then.
At least with Dragonite, you can like superpower it during the end game scenario if you need to.
Yeah.
Flygon does have the Earth power for like Steelix potentially.
Yeah. Yes. Actually, I remember it wasn't that great with Dragontail. It wasn't that great against G-Fisk.
I would imagine not so, because again, G-Fisk is just... Do you have a Shadow Flygon or a regular Flygon?
I just had... I know the Shadow was recommended. The
I don't even think I have a Shadow. I don't think I have a Shadow Flygon.
Oh, you know what? I'm just trying to think. It wasn't Ultra Premier, because I think one of its wins that it could get, I was reading up, it was either a JREC Wolf article or a PV Poke recommendation, like just listed off a whole bunch of things that Shadow Flygon could beat, and I remember DD being one of them. So I'm trying to think what that meta was, because...
I guarantee you that was a remix.
Remix, that's probably it, yeah. Okay, so just forget the last minute and a half.
I'm always right, chat. Just remember that.
It's absolutely not true. But...
Remix. The most recent metas that have been similar to this have been remix, because they got rid of Premier for a couple seasons, and they kept doing Ultra League remix. One season they did it with 20 bands, and it was insane because nobody had any Pokemon. Then the next season they did it with 10 bands, and it was a little more balanced. But like Deoxys and Giratina Origin were like two heavy hitters in that meta. Yeah. So Flygon would probably done well against Deoxys and Giratina Origin, so it would have made sense. But again, during Remix, I don't think Walrein was around, because Walrein is just in January. Keep that in mind. It was only this. It was not that long ago.
Yeah. But Politoed, Blizzard on that?
I think it depends on your team comp. Blizzard helps you against Trevenant and like the Flyers. Earthquake will help you against I don't know, other water types maybe. Walrein specifically.
Yeah, Walrein specifically, because Swampert, you're beating it with just straight Weather Balls.
Yeah, Swampert you can Weather Ball. Yeah, I think it just depends again on the team comp that you want. Most people prefer Earthquake on that, but Tentacruel, you would want Earthquake.
Yeah.
Samurott, again, you would want Earthquake. I like Samurott a lot. It's a fun Pokemon to use. It the Fury Cutter charges super fast. So, Lapras, if Lapras is there, you would definitely want Earthquake for that, right? So
actually, how does Lapras compare here? Because like
Lantern, you would want Earthquake.
Rank 64 for the Shadow, rank 80 for regular.
I'm praying that the updated bosses, one of them is Lapras. Please. I don't have a Shadow. Bring back Lapras and Trapinch, and I will be like the happiest guy alive.
And Trapinch as well.
I will grind those two so hard.
I'm
not even doing my rocket, my rocket thing leaders, because I don't really care. Like, it's not even that I want to save them. It's just like, who cares? Like, I already have decent Venusaur. Like,
yeah, sure.
Is Shadow Blastoise really that good? Like, I have some that I can use if I really need to.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Lantern, I think, sounds nice on... maybe...
You can run Water Gun.
Yeah.
Water Gun Lantern is, like, pretty nice. You do kind of get shit on by Trev.
Yeah, it's kind of... like, all of those core Pokemon we mentioned kind of beat the Lantern.
Mm-hmm.
So Lantern might be a spice pick to take to, like, clean up some of those non-core Pokemon, but I think like your or your Earthquakers, your Trevenant, like all those grasses, they would probably clean it up.
Oh yes, Lilibear, you have to play Ultra League. I saw you were using what was that, Pawnyard today. I was watching your stream very briefly. Just remember to Iron Head the Rapid Ashes.
It was funny. I had my stream on Go Battle Day, and I was running that Rapid Ash lead, and I ran into so many Claydol, and every single Claydol would bait the first charge move. If I built up to a Mega Horn, I would just constantly bait the Body Slam every single time they shielded. Pogodoms was in chat. Yeah. Pogodom, like, I sensed that reaction, and Pogodoms had the same thing. Like, why do you keep baiting the Claydol? And I'm like, because they keep shielding. And he goes and streams on his own channel straight after, and he's running Rapid Ash lead. And he's like, alright, Fish, we'll do it your way. And he keeps building up to Mega Horn and baiting, and none of them shield.
I would have bait.
Yeah, well, I mean, like I said, it was like happening every single time. Like, I was encountering dozens of Claydol leads. Obviously, Go Battle Day, I had 100 battles that day, and like so many of them were Claydol leads. Every one of them shielded.
I mean, like, the thing is with Claydol is you outpace it so severely. I just don't think it's worth the risk of baiting.
Which I agree, like, on paper.
Takes them 21 turns to get to a Shadow Ball, right?
Yeah.
And it takes you 14 turns to get to the first Mega Horn, and then 12 to the second. So
I know what you mean, and I agree with you. It was, but in practice, that's not what was happening. They would bait, they would shield every time.
I don't know. I guess as a play, I like to go for the big move.
Don't worry, you're right.
Just nuke them, right?
Yeah. Anyway, is there anything else worth talking about that you can think of? Like,
we can go. I like Primeape is very interesting.
Primeape. For me, Mr. Mumbles, it is 1:45 in the afternoon.
Because it has some interesting coverage. You could run Night Slash. You could run Ice Punch. It's a little bulkier. It's an XL Pokemon. You do have counter. You could run close combat. So, like, you could hit, like, some Dragonites. You can hit some... you could do well against G-Fist. You can hit back against Trev. I think it could be, like, a nice little, like, core breaker type Pokemon.
How do you think Primeape compares to Surfetched?
Just bulk.
It's like, how bulky is it?
Like, you can check the stat product there.
It's 33.94. Oops. Versus 33.18. So, like,
but it's got a higher attack stat, that's why, right? 187. What is Primeape's?
Primeape is 182.
And it has a much higher stamina, right? So
yeah.
I mean, like, it's definitely bulkier. It's not like bulky, but I think it's interesting. Again, also the Ice Punch is really nice against, like, some dragons and stuff, flying types. Yeah. You could also run it with Cross Chop if you had it, which could be interesting.
So you do, because, like, I brought up Surfetch.
It doesn't have Cross Chop, right? It doesn't have access to a low energy fighting type move like Machamp. So
the reason I thought of Surfetched is because it's also a glassy fighter with, like, some nice coverage options, but the coverage options are different. Yeah,
it's
like
different coverage, right?
Yeah.
Grass first ice, dark. Well, they both have night slash, but then the Brave Bird versus the cross chop. So
that's one difference as well, is that Primate, its only real nuke is close combat, whereas Surfetch has the option of Brave Bird as well.
Yep. I mean, they're both different, but
yeah.
Let's see what else is down there. Primarina, anyone want to run Primarina? 335.
I mean, you wait till it gets Hydro Cannon.
Tentacruel could be interesting. Umbreon is ranked 34. I think it's very bulky and always good, right? Especially anything that destroys Trevenant, and it should be able to beat Walrein too. So, beats Walrein, beats Trevenant, so that's another like good pick. I think that's a little lower ranked.
That Meganium, I think, has a lot of play. Like, I mean, it would get walled by Trevenant, but would beat the Steel Grounds pretty comfortably.
Yeah, takes super effective from poison, so that's the one downside.
But then has the Earthquake coverage.
Yeah, for the Steel types. Yeah, it's definitely good.
And against the poison types. So like you can nuke a Nidoqueen or a Dark Poison in the end game.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see what else we got here. Abomasnow. Here, the Samurai. Coffin is super bulky. Always has play. Toxicroak
42-29.
Interesting coverage. It depends. Like, it's good against some steel types, but also gets one shot by ground type moves. So it's kind of like a little the G-Fisk matchup and stuff like that's a little sketchy because it's like you're trying to call baits or potentially getting one shot if the person doesn't want to bait, things like that.
Berserker.
I think it's probably better in open, but it does look like it could be okay. Like, but again, it's not very bulky, so it does struggle with like even like a G-Fisk or something because of the baiting game and things like that.
Yeah, because the G-Fisk outpaces it to a close combat. It would probably do pretty well against the Steelix, resisting the Dragon Tails, resisting...
it will do really well against Steelix. What, Venusaur is this low, or is that only the Shadow, or is the regular this low too? Because I like Venusaur quite a bit. Okay, so the regular is a little higher.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think basically like anything like even you see the scores aren't that low where we're at, right?
Yeah.
We saw Jellicent and Polion down pretty low, so Overquill seems interesting. Ferrothorn, like some of these Pokemon are just like very interesting core breakers, right? Like they might not necessarily be like the best overall picks, but like Ferrothorn, let's say for instance, someone's running like a water plus like an A9 core because they want, like water covers the fire weakness, things like that, right? Then like you slide a Ferrothorn in there and you're just like, what the frig do I do now? Right? It's like a flash cannon, boom, gone, A9, power whip, see you later, like Politoed or something, right? So yeah.
So if you're going to run something like a Ferrothorn just as an exercise, what would you put that with?
That is a good question. Maybe like you could, what sounds decent is maybe like
maybe a Jellicent.
I was thinking Tentacruel.
Yeah, Tentacruel, yeah. Because they would have to like handle your fighters and your like Talonflames, your fire users. And so yeah, Tentacruel is a good pick.
And Ferrothorn, even being a steel type, can still hang in there with the other steel types such as like G-Fisk and things because of the grass typing, right? So yeah, I think that could be good.
How does Tentacruel do against Trev?
It probably loses, but it's probably not that horrible.
Yeah, because like a core of Tentacruel, well, no, it says it beats it.
That's with Sludge Wave. Okay, yeah, there you go.
With Sludge Wave, oh, you're right. Wow, why not Acid Spray?
So if you want an expensive core, that's why.
It loses with Acid Spray. There you go.
But also
why is it Scalding first?
We don't ask those questions. Let's see here. Ferrothorn. I think I have a really good Ferrothorn for Ultra League. I have a rank 1 best buddy, I think. But I don't think I want to build that one. I have a rank 8 for Ultra League.
It gets a lot closer if you actually Acid Spray. For some reason, it had the Tentacle Scalding first, and that being shielded. But if you just go straight Acid Spray, it gets it real close.
Right. Okay, well, something to consider. Let me see. How much dust does it cost to build a Ferrothorn for Ultra League?
All of it?
It will cost me 428,000.
Wow. That's almost my whole stash at the moment.
But I have enough. Wait, did you not play the Calm Day last weekend?
I did, but I wasn't in a particularly spawn dense area.
Oh jeez.
Yeah. I'm gonna make much better use of this next Com Day. But like, how nice is it to get two triple Stardust events in the space of
it's
like 8
beautiful. Days? So we grinded the other one. I have a rank 1 Ferrothorn for Ultra League, but it requires level 51.
Yeah, no.
So we grinded, like, I got about 570,000 Stardust on Dratini Day, and we also I got 3 hundos, and my friend Slyfrit that I was with, he got 4 hundos.
Wow.
There was 2 local callouts in the Discord. So like, we were downtown Toronto, so like someone was like, oh, there's a big Eden Center, a huge mall, there's a hundo there. We're like, okay, we're like 5 minutes away, let's go there. And then there was another one at the university, so we were like, okay, let's get that, because we were trying to get a shundo, right? Like, you might as well go for it, it's boosted odds.
Yeah.
And then on the way to the second one, after I checked, I had like got another hundo on the way there, some randomly. And then he got 2 extra ones from research rewards.
That's crazy.
So combined, and I also hatched 2 hundos that day too. I hatched a Cleffa and a what was the other one? Primarina. What's the one? Do I have a hundo?
Shadow Lyle?
Dragonite? Oh, do I have a hundo Shadow Dragonite? No, I don't. I know. Yeah, Mr. Mumbles has a hundo Shadow Dragonite.
Yeah, right.
I don't have a hundo Shadow. I have a 96. It's a 15, 15, 13 Shadow Dragonite, unfortunately. But yeah, I think that basically covers it. Like, there is definitely picks below here. Like, Blastoise could have some play. Lurantis seems kind of interesting with the Leaf Blade superpower. Again, we talked about A9. Lapras is always good. Yeah, Poliwrath like is okay. Sneasler's there. Togedemaru, let's go. Magnezone is kind of fun. Rune. Yeah, I think pretty... Like, there's still viable things down here, but they're definitely not as... Like, you look at the scores, too. The scores aren't even that bad down this low, right?
No. Like, we could spend time talking about... Like, we'd probably... We're busy guys. We probably could talk about all of these in depth, but, like, we want to respect your time a little bit more than that.
Licky seems interesting. Pillow-Swine, yeah. Regular
Sandslash.
That is a Unovan Sunkfist there.
That would be another core breaker for your Trev Warrain.
I mean, sure, but Powder Snow, Ice Punch, Blizzard. How is it going to be Walrein?
I'm thinking Shadow Claw.
Right. It's still not going to want to eat an Earthquake, so...
And, no, I wouldn't run Blizzard. I wouldn't run Powder Snow or Blizzard. I'd run, Shadow Claw, Ice Punch, Bulldoze.
Yeah, I've been trading Licky Tongues to try to get XLs for Licky. and hopefully I can catch a better one. How many do I have? I have 75 XLs right now, so let's see. Yeah, I think there's some interesting ones down here. Paunch Crow, I don't know, that looks pretty bad. Yeah.
Sorry, hand.
We'll have to see, but yeah, I would probably stick to some of those BBML teams. Yeah, if you pair like, Dragonite G-Fisk or Dragonite, something like that, you could probably do okay. Or even Dragonite Empoleon could probably work, like a classic team, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. Thanks for joining me once again.
Anytime, appreciate it. Are we? What is the next week's one? We'll just give it a bit of a preview.
And it will be our last for the season actually, because we're not going to do one for Catch Cup.
Are you sure you don't want to do one for Catch Cup?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Get wrecked.
Like 90% sure.
Oh, Element Cup Remix.
Oh, there we go. Element Cup Remix.
I mean, that'll be a good one for people to try to hit Legend in too.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, just
get your just a quick.
There we go.
Quick,
yes.
I will tell people, if you are still going to be grinding to Legend, catch all the Dupiters or Dupiters you see in the wild, because that thing looks pretty busted in the little Element Cup Remix or whatever it's called.
Okay, cool. I think I do have a pretty nicely ranked one for Little Cup. So
I was looking at it, like there's not many things that like actually beat it. Like like hard beat it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
sure.
It's very neutral matchups, so it looks pretty darn good.
All right, cool. We will see you next week, same time, same bat channel, to study that meta. Good luck with your Ultra Premier Cup.
Okay, peace out, everyone. Thanks for dropping by. Love you.